What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. It's a little later than usual. We wanted to wait till these wild card games were over with so that we had something to talk about that wasn't college football because fuck last week of college football. We're not talking about it. And luckily, there's a lot of shit to talk about. So it's going to be a good day. But both wild card games are done. Boston and LA both moved on. One step closer to the World Series,
So
and both
wow,
games were
that little hammer.
both games were stressful. I'm sure like the Dodgers game coming to a walk-off is obviously pretty stressful, but you had to throw out a guy at home base, blah, blah, blah. We'll back it up. But I mean, everything had some stressful spots. But to start off with, your game was first. Your game was Tuesday night. So you guys came in there and really jumped out to a lead and never gave it up. Giancarlo Stanton hit 3 home runs and only one counted. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
What did you think?
Oh yeah. Hold on, real quick.
Okay.
Alexa, who? What was the question I asked earlier, babe? Alexa, who designed Fenway Park? McLaughlin. James E. McLaughlin. You
Okay.
are the stud of the week, my guy. If it wasn't for you, we would have lost this game. Yeah. And real quick. Why the fuck was A-Rod announced in that game? That's what I want to know. That was the biggest bullshit. This was it. Let me look. Yeah, this was out in 30 ballpark. That was out in 11. Who gives a fuck? Fucking A-Rod. We're at Fenway.
I don't know why he gets to announce anyway. He's
past
a
the
shitty
Green
announcer,
Monster.
regardless of it being a Yankee game. He's a shitty announcer too. So,
But it was absolutely amazing the way we were able to jump out on Garrett Cole, which is really their X factor this year in big time games, and to get him out of there after two innings. He was in the third. He didn't get out, bitch. 2 innings. I don't count the third because he was a fucking ghost. And we got him out of there. We went up. Shout out to Xander doing his thing. Rafi chewing all that big old chaw. Not really doing a lot last night, but definitely getting up there in the pitch count in a lot of his at bats. So yeah, last night it was rocking. Fucking Nathaniel Evaldi going out there, Dylan. It was a great time. It was really fun. The only thing we were missing was Joe Kelly to be able to come out there for us and kind of quiet them down because like you alluded to a little bit, those last couple of innings really started to get a little bit nerve-wracking. And thank you, Jesus, we had a 5-run lead going into those deep innings because it was needed for my nerves to be up 5 and us go.
Oh, trust me, I know about that.
They didn't want us to win. I mean, and the ump, I forget his name, but he's known for expanding the strike zone. And it was shown early that he wasn't really until the Yankees started batting or pitching or anything that would help them out after the 6th. It was definitely nerve-wracking to watch. I was going crazy. It was amazing.
I bet, man. Yeah, you guys don't have Joe Kelly anymore. You guys gave him to us, or we have him now. But one person that you guys do have from us is Kike Hernandez, and this man, this is his first year there, right? And he knows already how to play off the green monster. Giancarlo Stanton smacked a second just moonshot off the wall, and Kike played it perfectly off the wall to throw it back in and start the relay to throw out Judge at home. And I mean, that was really, like you said, you guys were ahead by a lot, but that was really a turning point of momentum. Yeah. The momentum just really jumped back up to you guys.
The call, I think that was Juan Carlos then too, getting pulled in there. But that call at that point in time, A-Rod alluded to 1,000 times that it wasn't. But they even did the replay, and yeah, he was so deep into it, and I wouldn't have called the big fella in if that was me in that situation. But still, for that relay, and if I'm Kike, I'm coming through as I'm getting that, looking at the left fielder and saying stupid and grabbing
exactly, because he didn't want to play
because his angle on that was asinine. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, thank God Kike flew in there and was able to pick that up and Xander get that exchange in.
Yeah.
And we saw in that game last night that glove to hand exchange is really important in the game of baseball. And it's a shortstop messed up a little bit there. He should have caught the ball and didn't, trying to flick it to get back to first. And then we'll talk about that. But yeah, it was it was really great baseball all around from the Red Sox and from all these players that these writers and stuff were alluding to in their rights and their reports and all their bullshit that they were writing in the beginning of the season of why we were still rebuilding is all these guys coming in here and doing their job. And oh yeah, we got these guys that we're fucking trading for coming in, leading off, doing work just like your peoples are.
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch. It's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, that's a huge game for you guys to continue this tide against the Yankees, where the Yankees had your number for a really long time. And it seems ever since that, what was it, 2004 or 14 or whatever it was, when you flipped the script on the 3-0, return,
2003,
reverse
baby.
sweep them 3. Ever since then,
that picture back up.
Ever since then, you guys have really owned the Yankees when it counted the most, and it looked like they might be able to take you guys one more time. There it is.
2004.
Yeah, okay, but they got you guys the last series. They swept you, and they looked like they had momentum. You guys were tailing off, and you turned it around. So the reward that you guys get now is to face the Rays, the top seed in the AL. And but for a quote unquote rebuilding year, if somebody was to tell you you guys beat the Yankees in the wild card and go on to face the 103 win or whatever they are Rays, you would take that. But now that you're here, let's talk about that Rays series. Do you think you guys are going to have that same chances? You got Chris Sale, you got Evaldi, you got a chance.
No, Evaldi's obviously not pitching game 1. As announced, Chris Sale's going to be game 2. Hopefully we can get Evaldi back for game 3 and somehow, because it's only 3 games, right? Oh no, it's 5 games to the DS, right?
Yeah. It's 3 wins.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be able to, hopefully we'll be able to get Evaldi for game 3 and really be able to get a foot on their throat and be up 2-1 at that point. But yeah, that's me as a fan talking.
Right.
Tampa had 100 wins for a reason. They got hot when good teams get hot, and they haven't stopped. Like you said, they went past their trajectory by like 20%, I think, after June. So they've been getting extremely hot where we fizzed off. We should have had like 115 wins, and they should have had pace like 85.
For sure,
yeah, they were on pace for like 85, 90 wins and ended up with over 100. So yeah, that's a really good team. Yeah. And they literally have a pitcher for every single situation. And they're not like you guys last night carrying 7-8 pitchers. They carry what, maybe 12.
Yeah, I don't think they have like 2 pinch hitters. 15. We brought the full platoon as hitters for some reason.
Yeah. You got your 9 people, your Desi, and well, you don't have a designated hitter really. And yeah, you do in the AL. You have your designated hitter and then a couple backup infielders. Usually you want to have about 4 or 5. Now they probably sneak in 1 or 2 and go straight platoon squad in the pitching. So yeah,
because their best players are their starters.
Unless we can get in on somebody and sneak a couple runs. And they're at bats.
They're the fantasy baseball
they make
team.
It count.
That's what they do. They're the fantasy baseball team. They picked all their starters and then they were just like, fuck it with the rest of them. We don't really care who's on our bench. So barring injuries, Tampa Bay is a good team. What's that kid's name that was a rookie last year?
We're drinking tonight's.
What is it?
I had a whole thing of green tea, which is just Jameson, peach schnapps, sour mix, and Sprite, a whole damn cup of it because got to play the Rays tonight, and I'm gonna act like it didn't happen. So if I don't remember it, it never happened.
Exactly.
We'll just be down 0-1, and I'm gonna say fuck the system.
Yeah. So before we move on to the National League and talk about what's going on there, let's real quickly talk about the Astros and the White Sox. The Astros are the class of the offense. But the White Sox, they have kind of everything going for them. They have Tony La Russa. They have those 2 great pitchers. I don't know their names because I don't follow the American League, but I know they have a solid ace and a solid number 2. But it sucks because I don't ever want to bet that the Astros are going to win, but I want the White Sox to win just so that when the Dodgers make it, it's not a revenge or it's not a rematch, because the Red Sox would be a rematch, the Rays would be a rematch, and the Astros would be a rematch. So go White Sox.
Yeah, I agree. Go White Sox. But I was thinking about this as well. All right. I think a lot of people would agree with me, and I'm surprised that it hasn't came up amongst players a lot. If you knew every single time a pitch was coming for a good season, at least a season, that could have been 2, 3 seasons that they were doing this shit without getting caught. Like if you got the cheat code so much and knew what was coming, like if you were in the army, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you knew what the enemy was going to do every fucking time, eventually, even when they try to switch it up, you're going to know their tactics. You're going to know what it, you're going to, once you see what they're doing, you're going to be able to understand what they've done. It's kind of the same. They've seen and know, all right, bam, I know this is a slider. They see it coming off. They're able to immediately know what it is because they've known for so long. Like, do they not still have an edge, even if they're not
I don't think so, because
particularly
that's,
cheating, getting these pitches?
I mean,
Like, yeah,
watching
they
game
still have
film
to,
does
but
that though,
and they're obviously really good at it. They're really, really good at it. But they're able to know. I feel like they have the upper hand just because they knew already. They didn't have to put in, even though they did already put in the work. It was given to, like, they know they need to get put out of baseball forever. They have an upper
Well,
hand. They're cheaters forever.
they
Need to be
definitely need
gone.
to be put out of baseball forever, but I don't know if they have the upper hand. I mean, you see people like when Bellinger strikes out, which is 7 out of 10 times, he comes straight back to the thing. He pulls up that iPod, Microsoft Surface Pro, actually, I think it is. And he's looking at this thing. And so they're looking, they analyze, they're like, he threw a slider. Why did he throw a slider? How can I tell if he threw a slider? So they're doing the exact same thing. It's just the Astros were doing it in real time. And the real normal players are doing it after they've already finished their at bat. So I don't think it necessarily gives them an advantage in that regard. But sadly, it's just that they're good. I mean, Altuve, Bregman, Correa, racist dude Gurriel, they're all good. So that really sucks. And Lance McCullers is good. Whoever they still have pitching is pretty good. So that's the scary thing. But part of me wants to face the Astros in the World Series, and part of me just wants them to lose every single game. So it's really hard to watch these games because I obviously want them to lose, but when they win, I'm like, all right, they're one step closer to getting their ass kicked by the Dodgers.
I hope so, man. I cannot stand the Astros at all. It's such a taint on the sport, and it sucks, man. It really does, because it's not like the whole, even most recently, the sticky stuff with pitchers. It's not one particular team that was getting off. It's a lot of the people with the steroids. It's not one particular team that's getting off. It's the freaking league. And with this, it was just literally one team getting off, causing my fucking team a back-to-back. It's annoying as fuck. It's absolutely annoying as fuck. And I will forever not wish death on them or really bad injuries. But hey, if they want to get beamed 96 miles an hour and when they pass away, we find out they had CTE from playing baseball and being cheaters, I might giggle at that, to be honest with you. Like if Jose Altuve was the first person to play baseball and get CTE from the amount of fastball beamed at his helmet, I might get a chuckle out of it. I'm not going to go, oh, poor guy. Is that
I wish
bad?
Altuve was out of the league for sure. He should just be sent home. But let's move to the National League, where you actually got to see a celebration of how to actually handle a walk-off. You get your shirt ripped off. You get to celebrate. You get to have a good time. The Dodgers were facing the Cardinals, and it was crazy. It was a huge mismatch on paper. We were 16 wins above them. They barely snuck into the wild card, but they came out, and Scherzer, obviously as a fan, I was really jaded, and you swing emotionally. If you're a real fan, you understand those emotional swings. So the very first pitch that he threw was a fastball that was about a foot high and a foot outside. And I texted Seal right away and I said, Scherzer doesn't have it tonight. like it's done. And
that was really, so I got home 2 seconds later. I got home 2 seconds later. I don't have cable, so I had to get it off of a host, and which we all know is a minute behind. And I was on pitch 6. So I was like, am I on point? What the fuck did you just see?
Well, because he threw this high outside, and then the dude cranks 3 foul balls that were about 400-foot homers. Just luckily they were foul. And then I was just like, this sucks, man. I hope he can settle in. he wild pitches a guy home. And luckily that was all that he had going wrong. He walked a lot of guys, but he only had 3 hits. He took care of business. What's up?
That wild pitch too. That's also on the catcher a little bit. You were able to see at that point in time that he didn't have as much command on his slider. And in those situations, he wasn't aiming. He was throwing every fucking bit of gas he had into those sliders. So, and like the announcers even pointed it out that he just went right down and had all of his weight on his knee. Bro, you need to get down on both and be ready to block. It's like it's happened 3 or 4 times, but they haven't been hoppers or anything like that. You're just having to grab them off the dirt. This one was a hopper, came right back on his chest on the right side and skipped away. And that's more so on the catcher. In that situation, he should know better. But yeah, Scherzer gave no fucks about any kind of aim. Then with those, he let it be known already after what was that, in the 4th inning when he did that? 3rd, 4th inning? But he had already let it be known, like, all right, I'm not going to sit here and try to like thread the needle. I'm just going to gas it and hope it works.
And as a catcher, just to lay your point there, you know what pitch you called. You know a slider is coming. You know it's going to be low and away. And you know if he doesn't control it, it's going to be in the dirt over there. And to not even like he didn't even step over. He didn't do anything. He just kind of dropped down to one knee and tried to get it, which kind of sucks. Yeah, it's the wrong knee too. But but anyways, we get through the 1st inning, only down 1-0, which was huge. I thought it was going to be worse. And as it was just continuing, I was really scared because Wainwright was pitching amazing. Wainwright was really dealing to us. And luckily he made one bad pitch all night. He made one bad pitch and Justin Turner made him pay for it. Took it yard, tied it up at 1. And really that was it. I thought we were going to go to extras. I thought it was going to take all freaking night to get this game over with.
Them boys were pissing me off. Was it Wainwright that was still up? With it, his slider was fucking filthy, and it was dying early. I think he got JT at the next bat on it. It was a 1-2 pitch, and he just chased it so bad. And it was Wainwright's old. It was a 79-mile-an-hour slider. But yeah, the bottom dropped out of it, low and away, and into the dirt. And that happened a couple different times where Molina just had to pick the ball up and tag him out because it hit the dirt, not his glove. And they were chasing that, and I feel like it's harder. Like, go to a batting cage and put it on 80 fastball. All right, It just, even then, just think of that with movement. Okay, it's hard, and these guys are pros making them look silly. But I was like, come on, guys. You see that this is your last at bat with him. You think you got ahead of it, and he just made you look stupid.
Yeah, we run into that problem a lot, though. That's the Dodgers' real problem, is hitting breaking balls, which is a huge problem to have. You can't have that.
Taylor's first at bat looked fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, yeah, this is why you're 8 of 72, buddy.
Yep. So we get to the 9th inning, still 1-1. Kinley comes in and does exactly what Kinley always does. I actually wasn't as nervous when he let a guy on because he always lets a guy on. That's his thing now. He can't go a full 3 innings. He's gonna, I don't know what that means.
Rewind. I don't want to talk about Jansen yet.
You want to talk about Joe Kelly?
Yeah.
All right. Let's rewind.
He came in there and saved Max Scherzer.
He did.
He saved Max Scherzer's life. And you're a guy that doesn't really care for Joe Kelly either.
I love him ever since he did the
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We did talk about that.
He's my guy now. I didn't like him before that, but
I forgot. But yeah, this guy really hasn't been used as much as he would probably have wanted to going to the Dodgers. He was probably thinking, all right, cool. I was heating up. I'm about to come in and show out, and just didn't show out. And they really haven't gave him the chance to come back and show himself since. They let him come in then. He kind of fucked up, got suspended. And they went right back to kind of bringing him in every once in a while. I was happy that he was able to come in. I was hoping they would have left him in a little bit more. But yeah, man, there was 2 on, 1 out.
Yeah,
no, 2 on, 1 out. And came in, got 2 Ks. Stupid, filthy curveballs. Man, just being cold. I can't tell you, I'm not a Dodgers fan. But I don't know the last time Joe Kelly got an appearance in a baseball game. It's been a while from what I've heard of. getting in there too much to relieve. They got a good bit of relievers, new guys coming in there. Uriah's kind of showing up and doing the thing nowadays. But yeah, Joe Kelly came out there and pitched his ass off and got them out of that 5th inning jam.
Yeah, Joe Kelly definitely still got appearances, but none of them were high leverage. None of them were that type of. He would be the guy that would just go in when we're up 12, waiting to get the game over with. Because he was, like you said, he was brought in to be the setup man. He was supposed to, and potentially the closer if Kenley kept screwing up. But we brought him in to be the setup man. But now we have Corey Knievel, we have Blake Trinan. In the playoffs, we have Julio Urias. So like we're bringing in all these other people, and he's continued to fall down the depth chart, if you will, or the rotation, I guess, for baseball. But he came out in a high leverage position. Dave Roberts knows how to play in the playoffs. He's done it many times in his career. He did it for you guys. He did it for us. And so we got to use him, and it worked out perfectly. We don't know if Corey Knievel has that same sort of way. I know he's pitched in the playoffs, but we don't know that.
Yeah, he did good too. So I was hoping they extended Kelly a little bit more, gave him more time, then bring Urias out for a little bit, and then get Knievel in there to finish the game up. I was not looking forward to any kind of Kenley Jansen just because of the stories you talk about. And those bats were going all for the Cardinals. They were just leaving 10, 15 stranded, like you were saying you guys were going to do.
I know.
You guys did leave a good bit stranded, but they were leaving a lot stranded. So I was like, yo, Kenley's going to get in this situation and fold like he always fucking does, and they're going to walk in around and win 2-1. And
yeah, it was looking that way. He of course let in like the first guy up. He let him on, and then he always lets a free steal. If you get on first, I don't care who you are. You can walk to second base. You can steal on Kenley Jansen. He's not going to look at first.
That
the dumb little twitch thing.
No, not even the two. I like the two Dak Prescotts, the two Daks. But no, and that's a thing for a lot of closers. They don't give a shit. Like I started having to learn that they don't give a shit. You can't give a shit about all that, because once you give a shit about that, that's gonna fuck up like a lot of starters can, and closers aren't supposed to have all this different diversity. Shout out to Kenley for getting he has like 2 different pitches in his bag from this time last year.
Yeah. So
shout out to him for that. But no, his fucking wind-up thing, he puts it behind his back, says 1 Mississippi, and then so you, even if you don't get a good jump on it, I could probably still off Kenley.
But he seriously doesn't even look
catcher in the fucking league.
Yeah, he doesn't look at first. So you
last night. He was really doing good. He was, and those were, again, I don't know who was announcing it, but that kept getting annoying. That's a call coming in from the Dodgers bench there. Duh. Like,
what else is it?
Kenley doesn't give a shit about the runners more than anybody.
Yeah.
So if he's fucking even doing this before he goes into his Dax, like a couple of times he looked and was like, oh shit. And like that's a call from the Dodgers bench.
Right. But again, like you said, I mean, the out you have to worry about is the out that's at home plate. If you can't let anybody get a hit, it doesn't matter if there's somebody on base. So whatever, if you strike out all 3 people, it doesn't matter if the bases were loaded with no outs. If you strike out all 3 people when you come in, it doesn't matter. So I understand that. But so he gets through, he strands the runner again. We get through, and I thought, all right, it's extras for sure, because the bottom of our lineup was up. Well, a bunch of pinch hitters were up. And of course, Albert Pujols was the first one. So
I didn't want him being the first one.
This is Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts says Gavin Lux is going to be the pinch hitter, and then decides to bring Albert Pujols on, which burns Gavin Lux, which luckily we won in the 9th inning, but that got rid of one of our batters without him even getting to bat. Those are kind of the things that Dave Roberts does, which annoys me. But again, it worked out this time. It's like Mike McCarthy not calling timeouts. If it works out, who cares? So he goes out there, and Pujols, he went for it, man. He found a sweet spot of his bat. It was a little bit toward the end of the bat, but sadly it was just a straightaway center.
That would have been gone in 23 right center fields of major league ballparks.
That's true.
Fucking duck. But yeah, dude, it was straightaway center. And that's not a deep center out there. What is it? 396.
Yeah, but it's the air. The air is not good for hitting
420s.
home runs.
Yeah, but no, he definitely got a good 385 of it. Not 380 for sure. But damn, but the crack of it looked so good. And when you like it got up there, and then when it just fell, you're like, what happened? And then when they showed the replay, and that motherfucker literally missed it by about that much high and about that much over, dude. Whoo.
Yeah, it's just the ballpark's hard
everybody
to hit.
And he would have been bawling his eyes out at the end of that.
We would have hired some like concrete workers to build a statue that night. There would have been a statue up before Game 3 against the Dodgers of him standing out there massaging all the other players, massaging his bald head. That's what the statue would have been. So anyways, he gets out. Another pinch hitter that I got to be honest, I'm a bad Dodgers fan, I guess, because I have no clue who that kid is. They came up second. Schultz or Shitz or whatever his name is. He didn't look great. He cracked another ball out to center field, but nothing too crazy.
That one looked even better coming off the bat, but it just launched. It didn't go up at all.
I think he just has like my strength probably because he's just some AA kid that for some reason got on the postseason roster.
That would have been out of every single
AAA ballpark.
Babe Ruth ballpark.
So then our worst hitter, our MVP and worst hitter, Cody Bellinger, comes up. And the good thing about Cody Bellinger is he still knows how to work a count. He can't swing a bat, but he knows how to work a count. He will not swing at balls. It's great. And once he gets on base, that's where he's used. He's a 5-tool player that lost one of his tools, basically. So he's out there for defensive purposes, base running.
He got hurt, though, bro.
He finally gets on first.
He got hurt. You're just dogging on him.
And then,
hurt.
Like you said, bobbling the ball, man. One of the best catchers of all time. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer as soon as he gets the chance. Yadier Molina comes out of he pops up out of his thing to throw Bellinger out, and the ball flew up out of his hand, and he double clutched it.
And everybody in the stadium knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger got hurt. Stop. Wasn't he the shit like 2 years ago?
Yeah, he was the MVP. And
stop.
Now he sucks.
Stop.
He's batting like 181, dude.
Stop.
A pitcher bats better than that.
See, if you're the manager, you're send his ass to fucking AAA and tell him to get
Hell
better.
Yeah, I would. I'd have traded him. So anyways, so he gets in scoring position, which is all you need when you need a walk-off. And so Chris Taylor just has to come up and get a base hit because there's 2 outs. He has to get a base hit. And he said, nah, fuck that. You hang a slider right here. And he swung for the fences, and the rest is history, man. It was beautiful.
Thank you, Jesus, that Junior did not wake up. I was trying that whole time to be quiet. And thank goodness I was waiting. We were going to try to record right afterwards, but it was just too late. And I was
like trying to game.
I was trying to wait. I know the whole time I'm like, they know.
Yeah.
And I had Junior, so I was trying to wait to drink, so I wasn't intoxicated at all. But boy, right when that crack happened, I jumped up, clapped my hands. I was like, let's go.
Yeah, I was freaking out. Luckily, it was only 10 here and everyone was watching.
And I saw it leave, walked into the room. He was still sleeping, cracked it more. Let's fucking go.
There was no doubt that ball was leaving the yard, man.
Bro.
As soon as he swung, that was perfect.
The dumbass left fielder literally was 20 feet, 40 feet from the wall. And right when it got cracked, he turned and started running. Like, where are you running?
Yeah,
bro?
right.
Where are you running? That thing's gone.
The pitcher knew. He was like, well, that's over.
That thing was bye-bye. And do you think it's weird? Like NBA, right when they lose a final game of a series or something, they're gone. Soccer, they lose, they're gone. What else? Football, gone. Usually it's storylines. When Kyler Murray sat out at the end of their wild card game and watched them sit, like, it's a storyline. Every Cardinal player was literally on that rail, just sad watching. That was really cool to see. Like, they play so much, 162 games, and they got to play one fucking game to go home. Yeah, that shit's great. It sucks for them, but the Yankees get 6 months off. You're welcome. Go to Cancun, bitch.
No, I felt kind of bad for the Cardinals, but to get those demons exercised from the Dodgers.
Game win streak to end the season.
Yeah, I mean they're happy to be there. I mean, obviously you want to win, but when they look back at and they take a photograph of their season, what they did and then losing to a 106 win Dodgers team is not that they're going to be fine with that. They're going to be happy as an organization.
They're going to be pissed off at the structure that they had to play you guys in a wild card game.
That's true. They'll be probably the lead crew of getting that changed, which I don't think it needs to change, but I always think it needs to change when we're the 106 win team, but any other time it happens, I don't think it needs to change. So
the whole series concept needs to change. If it's going to be a wild card, it needs to go to a 3-game wild card.
Everything needs to be a series of some sort for sure.
And if the division needs to be at least 7, so 3 these 5s and 1s, 1 7 7 7 done.
Yeah.
We play fucking 1,000 games.
I know, and they can't play 2 more freaking playoff games. Yeah, I agree. But
they did 3-7-7. That's 4 more games between 8 more games. So that's 8 more fucking TV chances.
Right.
Put it on FS1 like you're doing to the fucking ALDS.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I get it. Fox Sports has Florida, and I think they have something up there. Boston has their own stuff going on. But yeah, it's smart doing it with FS1. But dude, it's the ALDS.
Well, it's just because the Braves are in the playoffs, so TBS is locked down for the NL.
Yeah, that's the NL. Yeah.
So where do you want to be played?
Fox? I don't give a shit.
Oh, but Fox Thursday Night Football's on Fox, bro.
No, it's on the NFL Network, bro. It's only on Fox in the markets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think that's what Jamie said. That's what the GM said tonight.
Gotcha. I mean, maybe. I'm in the market for LA, I guess. So, but anyway, so now we're moving on. Luckily, we're moving on. It would have been a much different story if either one of our 2 teams would have lost in this wild card game. It would have been really bad. But we move on to have the craziest, best on paper, and I think it's going to be one of the best in real life NLDSs ever. It's the most win total. This is the first time there's ever been 2 105 win teams in the entire MLB, and they weren't even facing each other. This is a 106 and a 107 win team facing each other. They're rivals. They are our main rival because the Padres always suck. And we've played them over 2,500 times total in our career, never in the playoffs. This is the very first time we're ever going to see the Giants in the playoffs, which is so crazy because we know how good the Dodgers have been recently. And then we know that every even year back in the early 2000s, the Giants were winning the World Series. So it's just weird that we never got to face them in the playoffs ever in our history. So we're facing them for the first time. This is a team that beat us by 1 game in the season series, beat us by 1 game in the entire season, matched our record outside of the All-Star break. Ours was better because we played 2 more games, but we did not gain. They were 1 game ahead of us at the All-Star break. They're 1 game ahead of us now. They lead the league in home runs. We're second. We lead the league in run differential. They're second. Everything is just first and second. How do you see this game going? Do you have it as game 5, just like everybody else?
Yeah. Yeah. And if it doesn't, it's going to be errors on somebody. Somebody's going to get 1 or 2 errors in a game and totally turn the tide of it. And just, I don't know who it's going to be. Hopefully it's not the Dodgers.
Right.
But yeah, it's going to be a great series. Both these teams are really good and they know each other really, really, really well. So yeah, it's going to be a great game unless somebody fucks it up somehow.
All right. We might have to edit this out or make sure that my personal information is not out anywhere. But I'm going to be blasphemous and say that it's a blessing in disguise that Kershaw is injured and he's probably not going to be on the NLDS roster because we know that Dave Roberts loves Clayton Kershaw. We know that Dodgers love Clayton Kershaw. I love Clayton Kershaw. I have his jersey. He doesn't need to be pitching with any sort of soreness, and you know he would because he's a dog. He's going to go out there. Ben Roethlisberger, the whole media is talking about how he's trying to play through injuries and stuff. That's what Kershaw would do too. So I'm glad that we put him all the way on the injured list. Let him. Hey, I don't care if you bring him back for the Braves or the Brewers or the Rays or whoever, but not against these Dodgers. We don't want these the Dodger killers that are on the Giants that have done this for years, like Buster Posey, who has literally probably seen Kershaw more than any batter's ever seen a pitcher in his life, because Buster Posey's a career Giant, Kershaw's a career Dodger. So leave him off the list. I'm mad about Max Muncy, obviously, but leave Kershaw off. Let Buehler, let Scherzer, let Urias, let all those guys handle it. We'll be fine.
Well, Muncy doesn't seem to be too bad. He should be back here in the next week or two. So
yeah, but I don't think he'll be on the NLDS roster. But
no,
he'll be on the CS probably if we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be, and Kershaw will probably be on the NLCS roster too if we make it there. But he shouldn't be on the NLDS. He says he's okay, but he's on the IL, so he shouldn't get to. But that series is going to be nuts, man. Eventually, you think the Giants are going to fade, and they never did. They never did. I still keep thinking it's going to happen. Maybe it'll happen in the playoffs, but I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a lot of really close games, a lot of good games. But how much do you think? So you know how in football there's these high-scoring offenses. In basketball, there's these high-scoring offenses, and every time it gets to the playoffs, they're like, defense wins championships. Football, basketball, hockey, defense really steps it up and wins the championships. How much does hitting home runs, which is what they equate to like the 3-point line in basketball, how much does that still help in the playoffs? Because the Giants lead in home runs. It destroys everybody. But now when it comes down to the nitty gritty, can they win these 2-1, 3-1 games without those home runs?
No, not without those home runs, not at all. But that's what really seems to matter right now in today's baseball. When we look down at these close games, it's the home run ball. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of players that are getting left stranded. A lot of teams that are willingly giving up the steal from second to third, knowing that they're probably going to be able to get you out because you can't hit off of them. So if you can hit off of them, it better be the team that can hit the home run the best, because they're going to need to be able to do that in these playoffs, because these pitchers are freaking insane. And if they make any mistake, you have to take it yard, because you could have first
make a mistake on 4 straight batters.
The first batter, first pitch of the inning, get a single, and you're probably going to get stranded on second because they don't give a shit. You can get the second.
Yeah,
that's fine. Oh, it's 2 outs. Okay, well, I've been feeling pressure that he's fucking with my sign, so let me balk real quick and send him the third and strike the next batter out because I don't have any pressure anymore.
Right.
So yeah, these pitchers are ridiculous right now. So I think the home run ball matters more right now than it probably has since steroids were around and people were trying to break records, because that's what it takes. Like, these pitchers still, like we saw it in both wild card games, all these pitchers are getting checked out still for the sticky stuff because they're still pitching filthy as fuck, and it's not going to change. So you're going to have to be able to capitalize off the little mistakes these pitchers make, like the Dodgers were able to do.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's less than the football and the basketball analogy I used, but with the pitchers being as filthy as you said, it's really the top 4 teams now, 8 teams, whatever it is, for the whole thing.
You have to hope your fucking pitcher doesn't go Garrett Cole and fold after fucking an inning.
It's the top pitchers in the league now, and with the defensive shift, you're not going to get back-to-back hits very often. So yeah, I agree with you. It's a lot harder to play that small ball that the Royals did back when they won their World Series. So the last one, which I think is the best series of the division series, and that's the Braves and the Brewers from Milwaukee, right? Or yeah, Milwaukee's the higher seeded team. So this is going to be crazy. You have the probable Cy Young with Corbin Burns against a team that battled through a lot of injuries, barely won the NL East at the end of this thing, but they have the experience. I mean, I know the Brewers do too, but Christian Yelich hasn't been playing well. The Braves are getting healthier and healthier, better and better. How do you see this division series going?
Braves are going to win. They were the surprising team last year, and nobody has talked about them this year.
It's because Acuna got hurt. That's pretty much the only reason that
day one, pretty much, right?
Yeah, nobody wanted to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, but they're still chugging along and they're still doing their thing. Like you said, Christian Yelich might as well be just a face.
Him and Cody Bellinger, bro.
He's got a pretty face. Stop talking about Cody like that. I like Cody.
They're gonna go hang out in Maui after.
Christian's a wholesome guy, but I don't think I'd be able to beat Cody Bellinger's ass. I would fuck Christian Yelich up, and he'd apologize to me for whatever he did wrong. I don't have any respect for Christian Yelich, but he's a hell of a baseball player. But he hasn't acted like it lately. But yeah, no, I think the Braves are going to win this. They're going to be able to put up fucking runs against this team. And it's definitely going to be fun to watch.
I think they have the pitchers too. I mean, I know there's Corbin Burns, but they have Charlie Morton. They have Max Fried. They have the back end with their own Will Smith. They have some really good players. So I'm with you. I think the Braves are going to win. But I did say, obviously, last pod or 2 pods ago, that if the Dodgers lost the wild card, I had the Brewers moving on to the championship. But now I have the Braves winning this series. So who knows? I'm up in the air. But it's going to be a great divisional series. And they should all be done by the time we record for next podcast. No, there might be a game 5 after that. But we'll be ready. We'll be ready to talk that up. But before we go on, anything else with baseball? I'm going to end on a baseball thing at the very end, but anything with baseball?
No.
All right. So
were you going to talk about the friends that showed up?
Yep. That's our shout out to keep good friends around.
We were on the right page for
yes,
the
sir.
ending, dude. Look at us.
So anyways, so let's move on and let's talk about some other things before we get to our football predictions. And the first thing I want to talk about is this crazy basketball thing. I haven't been able to read it. I just saw it pop up a few hours ago. There's 18 ex-NBA players that got charged in this health insurance fraud scheme. Did you see this thing pop up yet?
No.
So apparently they were sending in insurance claims that were false. And a lot of them are no-name players. Most of them are no-name players. But Glenn Big Baby Davis was one of them.
He was a no-name player.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm naming the ones that are named players. One of the best player that I saw, or at least for me, what was his name? Shows how much they were all no-name players. But no, Glenn Big Baby Davis was one of them. No, Tony Allen was one of them charged. And that's huge. That's the defensive guru, man. He was the guy that was always on the thing. So
yeah, Tony Allen.
It's just kind of weird to see that even these rich millionaire guys are potentially frauding systems. And it's kind of sad to see. You muted yourself on purpose. Okay. I see your mouth moving. Yeah, I didn't know. So yeah, it's just weird to see that these multimillionaire players I'm watching, I'm trying to keep track, are trying to take advantage of the system. And I really hope that whatever happened, that the punishments go out that need to be gone out. But it's just kind of sad. And I'm glad to see that there's no super big names here, but it's just sad to see that this stuff's happening at all.
Yeah, that sucks. So what is it? They were trying to get more than they should have for stuff, or they were
filing false insurance claims, like health insurance claims. I don't know what they were exactly, but yeah, through the NBA.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it was like they said their wife was pregnant and she wasn't, or like what kind of stuff happened, but they were filing fake insurance claims. So
I can definitely see them probably trying to pay off bills that they didn't have, going through a doctor friend or something like that. But you got to wonder why, man. Obviously we can understand we're normal, not normal. I don't want to say that, there's a lot of normal, but we understand shit happens.
Right.
And we understand how big families get once your money gets big as well. So these people always wanting handouts and help outs, and then trying to figure out a way to get that bankroll back up any way possible. And then if somebody tells Glenn Baby Davis, and then Tony, or maybe it was Tony Allen that told Glenn Baby while they were on the Celtics together, who fucking knows? But yeah, it sucks that people get put in those situations and they feel that they can do more than their bankroll allows them to, and they go to situations like that. Why not just try to go to China for a couple of years, dude?
Or I mean, what if, we also both know how expensive medical bills can be. What if there was a medical bill? I mean, all these guys have gotten injured before, and maybe they just asked for a little more money than what they wanted, or maybe that huge medical bill that they had to pay made them default on one of their big mortgages or something, and so they decided to fill in a little bit extra on the claim, But yeah, you got to stay above board. You got to stay respectable. You got to stay honest. It's never worth it not be honest, but we definitely understand that things like that can happen, man. Life is shitty sometimes, but
Oh yeah.
but yeah, you gotta stay honest. You gotta stay true to yourself and true to who you're working with. But
Yeah, it is crazy.
Weird thing to see.
The NBA looks like it's going to be a fun season. The Warriors seem like they're going to be back. Unfortunately, Clay's going to be back by like December, so he's going to be around for a while this year. They're going to be good again. God dang it.
Well, one guy that's not potentially going to be back is DeAndre Ayton. This man trying to get a new contract extension. He, of course, wants the max. We don't want to give him the max, and so right now we're at an impasse. This is his last year in his rookie contract. Yeah. We've offered him 2 contracts now, and neither one of them are the max. So he's like, no, I want the max. But we already gave Devin Booker the max, and we're going to continue to super max him out until he decides to leave. Do you think we should max Ayton or continue on trying to find something?
No, max Ayton and see if these other puzzle pieces, because that Miles Bridges isn't going to be anything. He's not going to come out and be a Jimmy Butler type guy that goes from a puzzle piece to the main guy and gets you into the finals with nobody. He's not that. Who else is it? Peyton isn't going to be able to be even a Dennis Schroeder type who could have got a big paycheck. He's going to end up getting the new Dennis Schroeder, getting the $5 million 1-year contract kind of thing, puzzle piece kind of guy. So yeah, I think they do need to and get these guys willing to buy in to what they're able to do. But listen, you're going to get $6 million. Like, you're going to be fine. This kid's going to get you $100,000 fucking Christmas present because he's making $156 million. Like, you're going to be taken care of. And if you stay, you're going to get a championship with these 2 guys. And if CP3 stays, if he has faith, which he seems to have coming back for another year, then yeah, there's no reason you don't. It's just they're being stubborn at this point, given 2 offers. And they're like, dude, if we haven't done it, do we do it? Do we show everybody that we're weak? So hopefully it doesn't get to that point, because he's shown in the playoffs that when it gets down to real basketball, he's going to show up and he's going to show the fuck out, and he's not going to miss a shot.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared that, well, we're going to give him the max. I'm not scared of that. I think that's going to happen. But I think we're going to drag our feet so long that it's starting to scare away other people, because they're going to say, why would I come try to sign with you if I'm in that 1-year deal range? I don't want to sign with you and then potentially not be able to get a new contract with you that I actually want. So
the Suns are one of the older owned teams too. Like, they haven't been through anything in a long time.
Right.
So they're probably still in our today's society, we're used to so much shit being different, right? But when you break shit down, like shit that was going on in the 40s, which is shit that we cannot stand, like shit we read in history books.
Yeah.
It was 75, 80 years ago, which is nothing. And what was it in the 70s when the NFL started doing free agency? Once you got drafted to a team, you were there. That was 50 years ago. Yeah. People have cars that are 50 years old.
Right.
Like, it wasn't that long ago. So all this new age shit. So they're thinking that they get a rookie. They have him for 4 years under that contract.
Right.
In football, they have you for fucking 4 years under that contract. And in today's age, nope, you get 2-3 years. And if I'm really fucking good, you might get me for that 4th one, but you're definitely more than likely not.
Yeah.
And the Suns seem to be one of those organizations.
They want to drag it to the last day of the contract.
Yeah, they did that with Book. Book didn't really have any complaints about it. He just let it be known, I'm a superstar. And they were
but we were bad when they did it to Book.
They were very willing because he was the only one, and they had no fucking capital up in the air, and it was all up for grabs for him. So now there's not too many slices to the cake. And I don't know. They're going to do it. Like you said, it's going to get done. They just need to go ahead and get it done. So these teams will be willing to come and be a part of what they're building, because I don't see any reason in 2-3 years you guys aren't raising up a banner.
I sure hope so, man. They better. It's been a long time, aka forever. So they better hoist one here soon. But it's prediction time, and we are going to start out our predictions with boxing, because this weekend is Fury Wilder, number 3. Oh, man. So the first fight was Wilder looked like he knocked this dude out in the 12th round. He came rising up like the Undertaker, fought to a draw. The second match was not even close in my calculation. So on my own scorecard, wasn't even close. But Fury cheated in like 5 different ways, apparently. He wasn't wearing his gloves properly. He had weighted gloves. Wilder had too big of a fucking helmet. All this other shit. I don't know.
He was COVID. Oiled up.
He's probably
Fury was oiled up. Apparently, he said he was slick.
Yeah. So everything was wrong. I think he was grabbing his gloves in the clinch. All kinds of stuff. So now it's fight 3. How do you think? I mean, when you talk to the people, well, not when you talk to them, but when we listen to other people talk to these people, Fury doesn't respect Wilder at all. He thinks he's just a piece of shit. He's like, he said, I don't know how he's going to do this, but he said, I'm going to submit him like in the MMA ring. So I don't really know what he means by that, but he does not respect this dude. Wilder, hopefully he knows that he fucked up last fight and actually trained harder this fight. But if he believes all those things he's saying is true, then he's not going to be ready for the fight. But I don't think so. I think he's going to train and be ready. So how do you think this fight's going to go?
I said Fury. I think Fury only because I don't see Deontay coming out. Deontay, whatever Wilder's first name is. Everybody knows I suck with names. But if he comes out like last or even the first, he's not going to be able to get over Fury, who every single time he comes out, he just fucking amazes you with his stamina, with his power, with his ability to take all these fucking shots, face, body, get clenched, body, get worked. The way he's just a big man with a lot of stamina, and he keeps surprising you. We haven't seen that from Deontay in a very long time. He was the shit. He was that guy. And I would never say anything to him. Remember that YouTube guy who was talking shit?
To this day.
Yeah, I would never be that YouTube guy that showed up in a gym trying to talk shit. Not me. Not happening. But he hasn't worked. I don't think he's worked to keep going up.
Right.
That we talk about all these UFC guys that just keep grinding, keep working. Every time you see them, it's a new them and it's a better them. We haven't seen that. If we see that in him, he's going to fuck Fury up and he's going to end up knocking him out because, like you said, Fury doesn't respect him. Fury is going to go into this fight well-trained, ready for anything, but he's going to go in with confidence. He didn't go in with confidence in the first one. He didn't go in with confidence in the second one. He's going to have a good bit of confidence. He showed a lot of confidence going up to this fight, and I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I think he's going to go into it thinking he has a beat on him because, like I said, Wilder hasn't went up on his yodelly. He hasn't been going up. And if he does, and not in any way, if he's up 10%, like Fury's still better than 10% Wilder 2 fights ago because he was the same fighter last, if not worse.
Right.
He's got to be a good 20% better than the fighter we saw in the first fight of Fury to be able to do it. But if we have that, it's not going to go 9 rounds. Like Wilder's going to be able to fuck him up.
Right.
But at this point, I'm not convinced that's going to happen. So you have to give it to Fury. You have to.
Yeah, I think it's clear that Fury's the better boxer. Just if you look at them as boxers, Fury's the better boxer, but that's not all that boxing is. I mean, boxing is 2 human beings going out there and fighting. It's not a piece of paper. And Deontay Wilder has the left arm of a Greek god, and he can knock out anyone if you stand in front of him enough and he catches you. And so if, like you said, if he's improved enough to where he understands what Fury's going to do, if he takes those 2 fights and kind of sees Fury fought different in both of them, but he doesn't have that many things he can continue to add to his game. So if you train those, figure it out, and if he can catch him, I think if Wilder wins, it's going to be a knockout. We know that. And I think it'll be early. If this game continues to match continues to drag on, I think that Fury's the better fighter. He's going to score the points. He's going to do the things that he has to do. And he wants to knock him out. So I think he's going to be adding a little extra oomph to his punches too, where he normally would just pick and pop you. He's going to be throwing a little bit. So I think it's going to be Fury as well. And I think it's going to be a short fight. I don't know that it's going to go the distance. And I think Fury's going to win it.
Me too, man. I'm excited. Hopefully I'm going to be off work early. I stay across from a Duffy's that I quit. Nice. So hopefully I can sneak in that bitch and not be seen. and just kind of keep my head down.
Hey, bring some money. You're just watching the fight.
Oh yeah, duh. But anybody that quits on a 40 top party probably isn't like too much.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I didn't have any help, and the manager was out back smoking a cigarette. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. My job now is awesome. But yeah, no, I'm so excited for this fight. And yeah, it's either going to be early or it's going to be a long fest. And we both have it the same way: early Wilder, long fest Fury. And either way, it's going to be a fun fucking fight. And those first 30 seconds are going to be electric.
Yeah.
Usually you get a lot of sizing up. There's going to be a lot of backing up the shit talk that's been going on in those first 30 seconds. And we're going to see right then if it was the 40-pound skull or you're just not good at conditioning in Wilder.
Right, exactly. All right, so let's move on to our football predictions. And again, I said we're skipping last week. I meant it because we're actually near the end anyway, and nobody wants to talk about last week in college football. So let's talk about this week. And let's start with the Red River rivalry. It's rivalry time. Oklahoma's traveling to Texas. Could this be where the Big 12, yes, they are still Big 12 right now, starts to eat each other alive and starts to throw this game away? I think so. I think Texas is going to pull an upset. You have the same thing?
Yeah, same. Texas is my upset pick this week. For sure. At home against Oklahoma. Radler's bitch ass keeps staying suspect. Keep showing that he shouldn't have been
up against Oklahoma.
Yeah, keep showing why. Yeah, I do. Keep showing why he doesn't really have it in him, and he shouldn't have been the number one Heisman preseason person. And yeah, I think Texas is going to shut them up and really fuck the Big 12 up.
All right. Yeah, so we both agree there. That's kind of cool. I thought we were going to disagree, although I know how much you dislike Oklahoma, so I knew we were going to.
I just don't like Spencer Rattler at all.
So let's move on. We got Arkansas traveling to Ole Miss. These are two teams that just got hammered by their previous number 1 and number 2 contenders. Arkansas got crushed by Georgia. Ole Miss got crushed by Alabama. What do you see happening here in Mississippi?
I think Ole Miss is going to be able to come out on top. They looked good against Bama for what,
at times,
yeah. And they were trying to stay in it. And I think their demise was Kiffin thinking he knew everything, but he knows nothing because the coordinators change every fucking year.
Right.
He has a ex-football GM and head coach doing his offense right now. And then he has an ex-head coach doing his, like, whatever Doug Marone's doing, like the lineman or the defense or whatever. Like he has ex-head coaches and GMs of the NFL right now that were not around 5 years ago when you were there winning championships with him. Right. So I think that was their demise. Whenever they got in, he's like, oh shit, the game plan's working. Let's try this. And negative 10 yards, interception, pick 6. And they just ended up getting fucked there at the end because they started trying to get cute, because what they actually went in with a game plan that was working, Kiffin was like, oh shit. Oh, I got him. Yeah. I know what to do. And then they're like, oh,
they're just a better team.
All 24 players or all 22 players are going to be the NFL starters next year.
Yeah.
And fuck. All right, cool. Don't get cute. All right, but no, I think Ole Miss is going to be able to come out and not run Arkansas. It's going to be a good game. Arkansas show that they're a good team. And shout out to the SEC this year. Good year for the SEC. You got a lot of teams that ain't shit. You ain't never going to see fucking Vanderbilt doing shit. But hey, shout out to the SEC. We're out here.
Yeah, if Vanderbilt does shit this week, I'm stopping watching college football for the rest of
dude. I swear, fucking.
But I think Arkansas is going to win this, man. I picked Arkansas to upset Georgia. That went very poorly. And we know how much I don't like Lane Kiffin, so I have Arkansas again for this upset. It's crazy that the higher seeded team is a 5.5 point underdog. This just makes me think that rankings are useless. I know that the group of 5 schools have said that for a long time, but I don't know why Arkansas is 13 if Ole Miss is 5.5 point favorites to beat them, and both teams have the same kind of similar resume. But whatever.
Cincinnati kind of showed last week. It might start getting in that way.
Yeah. So I think
that shit. I mean, we're not talking about last week, but we can talk about that. We can talk brief. We call that. Let's go. Group of 5. Fuck Notre Dame. The luck was not with you. The Bearcats mauled down the rainbow.
And that was their last tough game, unless you count UCF, which I don't, but obviously all my friends do. But that was their last tough game that they're going to have to face. So
they definitely, I mean, they're still 5th, but it's going to work itself out.
we'll talk about that working themselves out in just a couple games. But let's start with another SEC matchup, and it's number 2 Georgia driving up, I guess. Actually, I think over kind of to Auburn to face Alabama or to face Auburn. It's not that far, so they're going to be on buses going. It's like a couple hours, I think, west, kind of southwest. But Georgia is that team. Eddie texted me. He said he thinks they're the best team in the country.
Auburn's in Alabama, right?
Yeah, which is the one next door to Georgia.
And Tuscaloosa's the one up. No, Tuscaloosa's the one down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said up to Alabama. Whatever. But Eddie says that Georgia's the best team in the nation that he's seen. They've looked the best, but I still don't know that they played anybody super crazy good. I thought Arkansas was going to expose them. They didn't. Is Auburn that team, or is this another route for Georgia?
I fucking hope so, man. I don't give a shit. And I'm going to be so mad if Georgia's the reason Cincinnati doesn't get in. I'm going to be so
well, there's going to be 2 SEC schools getting in regardless.
It doesn't have to be. If they have one loss already, right? If we beat them, if Auburn, if somebody fucking beats them.
And then we beat Alabama.
Beats them.
Oh, okay.
And then Alabama beats them. They're going to have 2 losses, and everybody else is going to have 1 loss, and Bama already beat them. Don't let them get don't let it get twisted. We already saw what happened that one time. All right? Yeah, right. Don't let it get twisted. Don't let it get twisted now. Jalen Hurts just wasn't having a good game. All right. You might have won the first half, motherfucker, but that ain't it. Don't get it twisted. So, no, I don't. I want every team to beat Georgia. I don't care. Yeah. They are so good, but fucking I hate Georgia so much. So, yeah, nah. Auburn by 30. Nah. But Georgia's the fuck out of them. They're probably going to make them look way worse than they did Arkansas.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
But how about Bo Nix? Have you seen this man? Have you seen this man's highlights lately this year? Bo Nix is popping. Have you seen Bo Nix highlights this year, dude? This dude's
and Bo, this is a big game. So
so if anybody can save them, maybe he can.
We might see big game, Bo, but
no, man. I'm with you. Georgia's gonna roll. Yeah, well, this
want them to fucking. I don't want to see them.
Maybe we'll beat them. Alabama will beat them, and Cincinnati will move on. But
they'll beat the fuck out of Cincinnati and Bama right now.
Yeah, I know. But Alabama's not going to lose to their weak ass schedule that they have going on. But so now the game of the week. The game of the week is the only game that Cincinnati cares about. They're going to be watching this game with Hawkeyes. See what I did there?
I do.
And that's Penn State going to Iowa. This is the class of the Big Ten. Whoever loses has to drop under Cincinnati. I don't care if Cincinnati is about to beat up on Tulane or whoever the hell they're playing. Whoever loses this has to drop below
Temple.
Temple, yeah. So they're going to roll over Temple, and it's not going to – they could win 56-0, and it's still not good enough. But Penn State traveling to Iowa. This is at Iowa. I know how much you love their home field. What do you think you got going on here with Penn State and Iowa? This is the game. This might be the game of the year. Not really.
We have a doctor on their sidelines that's not up there in that hospital.
Ooh, okay.
That doctor might have to be Superman, you know?
You think the doctor negates the hospital kids?
Yeah.
You think he counteracts it?
Penn State by 20. Nah. But you have to hope Penn State wins this if you're Cincinnati, really. Because they're still like suspect. Iowa's got a really good fucking team. Like really good team. So if they're going to be able to get snuck, it's going to be now. And in this game, and Penn State, they still have a conference championship to go in the Big Ten. That's probably going to be Michigan.
Iowa's Big Ten now, bro. What are you talking
about? Are?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I forgot that. That sucks. Well, the winner of this game, I don't know how the conference goes, but hopefully the winner of this game is going to go up against Michigan, and they'll get beat or beat them, whatever Cincinnati needs. I don't fucking know. But I don't want it to be Iowa because they definitely are. If they did end up being that team, they are going to win the championship game. This is a team or a game that they would lose. Or maybe I don't know. I don't know what we need to happen, dude, because
I think you need whoever wins the Big Ten to just be undefeated.
Michigan's rolling through. And that Big Ten championship's they're not going to be able to wave at any hospital kids. So who knows? Maybe we do need Michigan because I feel like at that point in time, Cincinnati could be 2-3 going 2-3 against Michigan, 2-3. And then so maybe that'll come in their favor because Cincinnati will roll the fuck out of Michigan right now.
Yeah.
And man, I don't know. I'm stuck on this one. Who do you? I don't know.
I think Iowa's
want to
going to
see.
roll.
I want to see Penn State win because I think they're the most suspect to get actual.
But that's why I think that Iowa's going to roll them because I think Penn State's the most suspect. They are the top 5 team that has looked the least like a top 5 team, in my opinion. Iowa has just been rolling people. Obviously, we just talked about Georgia, Alabama, and Cincinnati. So I think Penn State is definitely a hit or miss team. And if they hit, they definitely have a chance. But to go on the road into Iowa, get to see the hospital kids cheering, it's going to be pretty tough. And I think Iowa's going to really make a name for themselves. But I'm going to look at Iowa's schedule real quick so we can continue to talk about if they're going to do this thing or not. They have no more ranked teams on their docket. So if they beat Penn State, then it would have to be Michigan in the championship, I guess. Yeah, it would be Michigan, Penn State, or Michigan State in the championship because Ohio State sucks. But yeah, so Iowa has the easy side, it looks like.
Penn State on the are they in the same
Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan State. Yeah, they're all in the same side. And then Iowa gets Minnesota, Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska, Northwestern, and Wisconsin. So
Iowa pretty much has.
Iowa's in the Big Ten championship already, I'm pretty sure. So we kind of need them to lose this.
We need them to lose, Michigan to keep winning, and then beat Michigan and be like, haha, you got 2 1-loss teams. Right. Good luck. You have to only pick one because Cincinnati. And the ACC sucks. So it's going to be 2 SEC, Cincinnati, and one of you guys this year.
And the Pac-12 screwed themselves up with Stanford. Again, we're not talking about last week. The Pac-12 screwed themselves up already. So now the ACC and the Pac-12 are out. The Big 12 is going to screw themselves up at some point. So you got the 2 SEC schools.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Oklahoma.
And then if you have a 1-loss Big 10 against an undefeated Cincinnati, this is the chance. We need Iowa to lose. All right, I'm with you, but I think Iowa's going to win. I think Iowa's going to roll. I think it's going to be pretty nasty. I think they're going to win by double digits.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been running a little long. We both alluded to it. We had a lot to talk about. It was a lot of good stuff. But we both alluded to this ending, and it is.
Did you do? Hold on, I did my upset pick. Where's your upset pick for college this week?
I was trying to avoid that. Can I pick Penn State over Iowa? No, that's barely. Sure. My upset pick. I didn't see any that I thought was actually good.
Disagree with me.
I'm gonna do a rankings upset because the line is actually even. That's how much they don't believe in this team. But I think that Virginia Tech is going to welcome in Notre Dame and just continue the. Notre Dame's going to finish with like 5 losses. They always do that. They're riding high, and then once the cork comes uncorked, they're rolling out. So I'm going to take Virginia Tech to beat Notre Dame, and that'll be my upset pick. Yeah. So thankfully, Seal is my good friend and pointed out that I didn't make an upset pick, but our ending is good friends, man. I know Seal was thinking of it too, and it's to have friends like Juan Soto and who was the other guy, the pitching coach, hitting coach,
the hitting coach.
So Juan Soto and the hitting coach came to watch their boy Max and their boy Trey play for the Dodgers. Of course, Max Scherzer and Trey Turner got traded in a blockbuster trade that we somehow snuck Trey Turner in. Juan Soto and the Nationals gave up a long time ago, but 2 years ago, the 3 of them won a championship together, won a World Series. And you can take the kids out of Washington, but you can't take Washington out of the kids, you know what I'm saying? So the fans are there, the friends are there.
First thing I just Max did. That. Max went up to him and high-fived him, blew him kisses.
And then you saw him and Trey over there talking.
Trey fucking with each other.
So like that is huge, man. And you see these pros and you see these big time guys and they're rivals and they hate each other. The Nationals, Scherzer beat us when we were supposed to go on our first championship because we just got shit on by the Red Sox the year before. The Nationals beat us, and like then they come here and there's no bad blood, man. Juan Soto's happy to see his guys doing well. He doesn't care that they were probably the worst team in the NL. He doesn't care. He wants to see his best friends, and I love that. Do you want to talk some more about it?
Yeah, and the fact that he wore, I even texted you like, hey, well, what are these guys doing wearing national jerseys here? And then I saw them talk about Juan Soto. So I had to confirm with my sources, and sources confirmed it was Juan Soto and the hitting coach. And the hitting coach was wearing Scherzer. And the national jersey, and
Right.
then he was wearing Trey Turner's. Soto was. So it was really awesome to see. Like you said, you can't take Washington out. Hey, we're not going to come here and root for the Dodgers. We're not going to wear their
Right.
Dodgers uniforms. We're going to root for our guys for what we know and love them for, and that's for being nationals. And that's what you got to do. Like every friendship, every relationship goes through struggles. That's what life is about. And if you're not going through struggles, then you're probably not working hard enough, and you probably don't have anything to contribute to life, and you're just chilling. That's not what you want to do. You want to have great friends that you can struggle with and get through high times, get through low times. And if they would have lost last night, they had Soto and the pitching coach, the hitting coach there. When they won, they were right there to celebrate and happy with them. And that's what it's about, with having friends and people that you love. And everybody in the world needs them in a time where depression is so big. It's everywhere. A lot of people have it. Friendships, that's really what comes together, what really brings people to keep motivated, to keep going on. And that's what we're here for. We're here to love each other and be a stud and not a scrub.